Cello everyone, Cello Doodle here, and today we are looking at the best foods in Stardew for many different occasions. First off, we're going to cover the best foods for when you decide that you want to go fishing. The two dishes in this category are Seafoam Pudding and Dish o' the Sea. You learn to make Seafoam Pudding at fishing level 9 and it gives you a boost to your fishing level. This boost raises your fishing level by 4 levels, which helps with cast length as well as the size of your fishing bar. This recipe requires you to use a flounder, midnight carp, and squid ink. This recipe is a bit more difficult to craft as the midnight carp can only be caught at night in the fall and winter. Squid ink is dropped by squids in the mines, which are kind of rare to spawn and you have to have key unlocked, so it's a more endgame dish. This dish overall will give you 175 energy and 78 health. Overall, this is an end game dish and it can be really helpful to get your casting length long enough to get the Krobus statue, which is a really cool item you can only get in one spot. Dish o' the Sea is just like Seafoam Pudding, but with a lower boost and much easier to craft. You'll learn to cook this dish at fishing level 3, and it raises you to 3 fishing levels. This only requires 2 sardines and a hash brown. The sardines can be caught anytime during the spring, fall, and winter. Hash browns can be crafted using potato and oil. Oil can easily be obtained from Pierre or from an oil maker using corn or sunflower seeds. This dish gives you 125 energy and 50 health, which is a good boost for how easy it is to craft. Because this dish is so easy to craft, it makes better to use in the early game than the Seafoam Pudding, which is very late game. There are also dishes that give a farming boost. This can help you obtain higher quality crops, which is great for when you're harvesting a lot of crops all at once. The complete breakfast takes a lot to craft, but it gives +2 farming and 50 extra energy, which can be super useful when you have to harvest and plant new crops. The complete breakfast requires a lot of cooking to create. It takes a fried egg, milk, hash brown, and a pancake. Fried egg takes 1 egg, and you know that recipe as soon as you get a kitchen in your house. Hash browns require 2 potatoes and oil, and you learn the recipe from the Queen of Sauce on the 14th day of spring in year 2. Pancakes require wheat flour and egg, and you can learn it from the Queen of Sauce on the 14th of summer, year 1, or from the Star Drop Saloon for 100 gold if you miss the day. This takes a lot to craft, and the farming benefits can be nice to help max profits when you have a large batch of star fruit or ancient fruit ready. And complete breakfast is one of Alex's loved gifts, so if you're trying to date or marry him, this is a great way to boost his hearts fast. Personally, this one isn't my favorite, and I don't really use it. The farmer's lunch, however, is much easier to craft and gives you a larger boost to your farming. You learn to craft the farmer's lunch at farming level 3 and it gives you a +3 boost. You get this recipe pretty early, so it's great to start using as soon as you get it. The farmer's lunch requires a parsnip and an omelet, which you only need an egg and milk for. This requires animal products, so you might not be able to use this super early, but once you have a coop and barn established, this will be a huge help to your farming level. This dish also gives you 200 energy and 80 health, which is a nice boost, and it also reduces the amount of energy required to hoe and water, which makes replanting much easier after you just harvest all those crops to get a higher quality. Next up is Tropical Curry. This gives you a +4 boost to your foraging, which can be great for getting higher quality forageables and getting more wood from each tree you chop. The only downside is that you must have the island resort unlocked to get this recipe, which is really endgame. Endgame sometimes makes it harder to get all the wood you need, so it's more likely to use it for that instead of using it for higher quality forageables. Personally, I chose the perk where I get iridium quality forageables all the time, so for me when I'm foraging, this isn't very useful. This recipe also costs 2,000 gold to buy, which is a bit pricey for a recipe. The good thing about this recipe is that it is super easy to craft with a coconut, a pineapple, and a hot pepper. This also gives you 270 energy and 121 health, so for tree chopping days, this is the perfect meal. There are so many recipes in the game that affect your luck, and my favorite of these is the Lucky Lunch. This recipe gives you a +3 luck boost, and that is a huge help in the game. The luck scale is much smaller than all the other scales, so it makes a larger difference. This can turn a bad luck day into a good luck day for you, which helps affect what you find in the mines as well as ladders in the mines. Taking a lucky lunch to Skull Cavern can change how far you can make it down before you pass out for the night. You can learn this recipe from the Queen of Sauce on Spring 28, Year 2, and this is super important, so you don't want to miss this recipe no matter what. This recipe takes a sea cucumber, a tortilla, and a blue jazz to create. The tortilla takes 1 corn, and you can catch a sea cucumber in the ocean during the fall and winter, but you can also find one in George's trash can randomly, which was interesting. You can get the tortilla recipe on Fall 7 Year 1 or purchase it from the Star Drop Saloon. When you eat this, you gain 100 energy and 40 health, which is a good boost to the start of your run. This is actually my favorite recipe in the game, so I have this fish pond where I store sea cucumbers to have a constant year-round supply because they just keep breeding and you get more and more and have almost unlimited supplies. And when I grow corn or blue jazz, I save them in a designated chest so I have a ton of lucky lunches for the whole entire year. When I forget my lucky lunches at home, I typically use a spicy eel instead. It gives you +1 luck, which is significantly less than the lucky lunch, but it also gives a +1 speed boost, which can help you avoid monsters and get down faster. You can get the actual dish from Serpent Drops in Skull Cavern, which is great for when you need a boost in the middle of your run. You can also buy it from the Desert Trader for 1 ruby, which is a good deal considering if you use a crystallarium to multiply only 1 ruby. Good deal. You can get the physical recipe from George at 7 hearts and craft them yourself using an eel and a hot pepper. This is easy to craft, but I typically use the ones I get from Serpents. When you eat this meal, you get 115 health, energy, and 46 health. Pumpkin soup is the easiest to craft out of all the dishes that you can use for luck. It gives a +2 boost to your luck and a +2 boost to defense and gives 200 energy and 80 health. This gives a better luck boost than spicy eel, and the defense helps when fighting the monsters. You can get this recipe once you hit 7 hearts with Robin, and you can cook it with pumpkin and milk. This makes it very easy to cook by the first fall, so if you are interested in using this, make sure to collect some extra pumpkins to use year-round. Crab cakes are another dish that gives you defense. This one gives you a +1 defense, but it also gives a +1 speed boost. This can help you in the regular mines because you can get them from killing rock crabs in the normal mines. You can get the actual recipe from the Queen of Sauce on Fall 21, Year 2. Or Gus will sell it in the Star Drop Saloon after Willie's 4 heart scene. So after you hit that heart scene, go get that recipe. To craft this recipe, you will need a crab, wheat flour, egg, and oil, and it will give you 225 health and 101 energy. I prefer not to craft this recipe and just use the ones that I get from the crabs in the mines. Eggplant Parmesan also gives you a +3 defense as well as a +1 mining. The boost in mining helps reduce the amount of energy every time you use it to hit a rock. This recipe will be available at the Stardrop Saloon after Lewis's 7 heart event, and it takes 1 eggplant and tomato. This dish overall will give you 175 energy and 70 health. Cheese is by far my favorite food in the game, especially to bring to the mines. It gives a ton of energy, no matter the quality that you have. You can also age it and sell it, but it's so easy to get that I always have a ton in my inventory. Magma Caps are also pretty good for the mines as they give a ton of energy and you can find them as you go in the volcano mines. So if you're kind of running low on food, there's a great snack right on the floor for you. For our last food, we have one of the most overpowered foods in the whole game, and that is Magic Rock Candy. This gives you +2 mining, +5 luck, +1 speed, +5 defense, and +5 attack, 500 energy, and 225 health. This is borderline ridiculous, so I only recommend using it with insane key quests because it'll make those so much easier. You unlock this recipe at mining level 9, and to cook it you need 4 prismatic shards and a sugar. This is a bit crazy as you can buy it at the Desert Trader for 3 prismatic shards, but you can also sell it for 5,000 gold. You will get a free one from the museum once you have donated 90 items, so it's pretty fun to get it to try it out if you're not desperate for the money. Haunted Skulls also have a chance to drop this, but it's pretty rare. So I don't use it that often or go out of my way, but it's sometimes a fun little thing to try out. I hope this video helped you guys out with finding the best foods for different situations. As always, if you have any Stardew related questions, drop them in the comments down below and I will see you all next time. Bye!